It's a PauleyGram.
This is a story about my friend, Dave Sanchez. He is someone I quote all the time. I quote quite a few people all the time, and he's one of them. Judge Marilyn Milian from the People's Court is another one. My other therapist, and my pastor, Kathy. I quote them a lot. But if you've been on my Twitter, I have tweeted about Dave Sanchez many, many times. And this is why. So, one time, oh gosh, I heard he sent a PauleyGram about another flood. But, I live in an old house, so whatever. So, I had a leak in my house. Not the same one when the firefighters had to come. It's a different one. But, of course, when I have a leak in my house, what do? I call my pastor. It's a throwback from my Too Much Water and a Lot of Firefighters video. But I do. I call my pastor, Kathy, help me. My pastor's named Kathy. She's from Alabama like me. So, I had some water in my house. This is from a leak in the top. I don't know. But it was like something going on. And so Rev Kathy gives me the number of our plumber from our church. And our church is over 100 years old. So was my house. So I was in a really bad, I wasn't having a great mental health week at the time. And then my house started flooding again. So it was a lot. But I was embarrassed because he was going to come over and my house was messy. Like I hadn't cleaned my house or whatever. And I'm crying because my life was a mess, which happens far too frequently for me. Hopefully I'm past that. Who knows? But so his name is Dave Sanchez. And Rev Kathy said, he does everything for the church, was 100 years old. And so I wanted him to help me with my house, which is also 100 years old, over 100 years old, way over. And so I'm crying like a toddler, like an unfed toddler. I'm like, ugh. And he comes into my house. I never met him before. And he's this he's like this Mexican guy that's like got a bald head and like a long goatee, like this thing. And this beautiful, like, happy face. And I'm crying and I'm so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because I'm crying. I'm embarrassed because my house is a mess. I'm embarrassed because I wasn't having a great mental health week. And I'm embarrassed because my house is flooding. And so the ones of y'all that have heard me say this quote so many times, this is the origin of the Dave Sanchez quote. He comes over and he puts his hands on my shoulders like this. And I'm saying because I'm apologizing. I call them apologizing. I'm apologizing. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. My house, I'm crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. My house is a mess. And I'm so sorry this happened. I'm really embarrassed. And I'm sorry that this, and I'm just apologizing for everything, like, in the world, like, And he puts his hands on my shoulder like this. And he looks me in the eye. And he says, I am not here to judge you. I am here to help you. Which, of course, in response, I started bawling my eyes out. And I'm from Alabama, so I grab him and I hug him. And I hug him and I'm crying and I'm crying. I've never met this man before in my life. I'm crying and I'm crying. I'm like, thank you so much. But here's the point. If all of us were to say to all the rest of us in the world, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. What a wonderful world it would be. Thank you, Dave Sanchez, my plumber, who, of course, is a really good friend of mine now. He's a gift from God. He's an angel.